Okay, guys, it's Basement Door interview night, and tonight we welcome the eclectic collection of individuals called Pink Mirrors. How you doing, guys?
Good morning. How are we all doing?
All well, thanks.
Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. This is going out at night, so yeah. What's the?
Good
Do you want to
evening.
introduce yourselves and tell us what you do in the band? Apart from Phil, because because we sort of know that you do everything else.
Yeah. So okay, I'll go. I'm Lawrence or Larry, and I play drums and I do backing vocals.
My name is Ollie, and I just turn up. No, my name's Ollie. I'm the guitarist of Pink Mirrors.
Yeah, I'm Philip, as you said. Do the vocals and writing, and well, I mean, we all write, but yeah, arrangement, lyrics, dancing around like an idiot.
And do you play an instrument, Phil?
I do. I mean, I play all of the instruments in the band, but I like to focus on the most fun one, the vocals.
He plays them all at the same time. Me and Ollie are just miming on stage. It's all
Yeah.
just an elaborate show. He's a one-man band.
And yet we still take paychecks away. Wait, what money?
I know that. So Lawrence, your sort of nickname is Larry the Beast.
Yes,
so
do so many things.
Ollie and Phil, have you got nicknames as well?
In the old because this band wasn't Pink Mirrors in the first place. We used to be called it used to be called Defect, and then I joined the band just as we were about to do a name change in the Ante. We all had our own nicknames, but with this one, we haven't really done like nicknames because it's a bit cheesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're not as big as Slipknot or like a band that actually is like you can have that moniker to kind of make yourself a character. You know what I mean? So.
It's a bit pretentious with the band. We wanted to sort of like be humble and like realize, it's not that much about us. We like personally with me, like with these songs and especially what we're going to talk about today, it's like dedicating ourselves to like help others and reflect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're here to. I'm adjusting my position on the seat to get comfortable. Just because I know it's going to be some storytelling. We're here to promote Pink Mirrors fourth upcoming singles and stuff that you're doing. So do you want to run us through what you've done so far in the sort of previous and as probably before lockdown, what you've done before that show wise, and then as Pink Mirrors, and then into COVID, and then what you're planning after?
Yep. So we were writing a second single, had it all done, went to the studio in Brighton Electric, which is where we recorded our first single as well. And we got it done. We started filming the music video, and then literally on the second day, which was supposed to be the last day of the shoot, apart from some little things here and there, Italy went into lockdown, and that's our videographer is from Italy. So then he went back and to see his family and all that. And then we went into lockdown. So then we were like, okay, we can't really release this because we can't gig with it. And we wanted to go, that traditional way. And it's been a few months since then, right? So then we couldn't rehearse and all that, as everyone else. And we got into recently we started rehearsing since studios were able to open again. And obviously, taking precautions and stuff like that, wearing masks and that. But music is the love of our life, so we have to do this. And we also saw, things like Black Lives Matter and all the crises in the world coming up, and we got inspired to make this live session that we're about to come out with in the next couple of when this comes out, it will be literally 2 days after or 1 day after. You'll have the date on the caption.
Cool.
And yeah, we put together this visual, which has a lot of you could say
poignant topics.
Yeah, quite hard to watch if you were just watch the visual itself. But we want to help people. We're privileged, right? We live in London. We have everything we need, and there's so many people out there that have the means to actually help other people, but don't. And it always comes down to people at our level who we don't. I don't have really money to give away to anyone, but I can use my art to
Yeah.
push people to
Generate something, yeah.
yeah, if one viewer gave £1 and we got a bunch of views, that could help. Every little helps, and we just want to donate. I think we're linking up with BLM Creative Fund on Instagram to put this out there and get it going. And that's one of the songs we're releasing on the live session. We filmed it with Dylan from Maxine's Toy and Thick Wilson.
Oh, wow, cool.
And
Good boy.
yeah, he also did a live thing of our gig back in January at the Notting Hill Arts Club, which was like one of our best gig we ever done. Like, it was so fun. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear,
It's
but
all right. You can get away with it.
it was really fun gig. It looked great, but so what we wanted to do is, with the second song for the live session, we'll play our first single, splice it together with the new one, with the old one.
Yeah. So
It's been quite an amazing time with this stuff when everything's been locked down and and these sort of stories have emerged again, because obviously I've seen this in my life time and time again coming up, and it seems like, is this ever going to get solved? Is people going to sit up and actually do something about this, or are we just going to every 8 or 9 years, it surfaces its ugly head again, and then we sort of just like let it just drift away? And I think at the moment this movement seems to have caught, because people have been locked down, it's caught people's attention because they haven't got anywhere to go. They've got to watch this stuff. They've got to learn about this stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's
it
been
reached a certain it reached a certain boiling point in a way because of COVID and how some people were reacting to being locked inside, and then like the anger which that just brought, and then having the difference of someone being killed because of their skin color, and then the anger of that community, but then the way that's been handled, I think, has inspired people around the world of all generations. But I think because of that kind of, we have been inside, there hasn't been much to do. Now that there's something which we see, oh, that's unjust, because everyone has, in a way, kind of like a refreshed
the radar's gone, hasn't
cognitive
it?
capacity. Yeah, exactly. We're now hyper alert to all of that kind of stuff, and I think it's hopefully a big necessary step forward. It's just whether we can continue to push forward instead of forget about it. We need to keep education and all this stuff prominent in order to make sure that stuff like this never happens again, essentially.
I think education is the big key, isn't it? It's one of those big things that you need to be educated on things. I hear, well, I've been in the youth service for quite a long time, and I used to hear, some comments like, oh, these Polish people, they should go back home and everything. I said, seriously, mate, do you not know about World War II? Do you not know that the Polish guys were the ones that saved their asses? And not just them,
100%.
but there's so many. It was an international thing. It was all races came together to fight this horrible fascist thing, and it's like, and we sort of like, and people forget, they've very short memories of what their history is, and that's where education comes in, learning about it. There was a record years ago, it was by Gary Bird and the GB Experience, called The Crown, and it sort of detailed some history about the black origins and stuff like that, and it's just incredible. Even on a rap record, it was like, oh wow, okay. So these people called the Akabulons came 2,000 years before Columbus, and they're the ones that built the heads on, not just the heads now. Obviously, there's bodies now. There's bodies in the Easter Island, and there's this incredible history of these things that we've looked at and admired for years, and then realised that that was black guys. And they did that. What they sailed across those oceans 2,000 years before Columbus ever got on a boat, before he was even born. It's incredible.
It's crazy thinking over this entire lockdown period, I've learned more about British colonialism than I ever did doing history GCSE. I think that's the thing. I think that's another thing as well, is that a lot of British colonialism was never taught in schools, and now it's being brought back into the conversation, talked about how bad it was. Then now people are starting to educate themselves a lot more. You know what I mean? I only learned recently about what the Windrush generation was. That was never ever spoken about. That was never brought up to me ever. And it's just crazy looking back and saying, this stuff is still very current. It's still happening today, and it's just, I don't know. It's been a time of revelation, I think, for everyone, but also a time of self-assessing our society. what's the ugly parts of society, like
Yeah.
what needs to be stomped out, like, you know, under the brow racism, like stuff like that can be easily avoided.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
mean,
the whole
and,
sort of
you know, reduced.
yeah, the education side of things. I think we live in, and we all live in London, very cosmopolitan, very open. So we don't really see the white privilege that we've got because we're sort of like we're generally mixing with people and seeing different cultures and experiencing different. And we in London, I think we love that, you know. But I think in other parts of the country, this is where you get in other parts of the country where you get some sort of more serious problems. That we do have it obviously in
Yeah.
London, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I think
it's everywhere. It's
it is
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah,
And that it just needs to be discussed and refreshed, discussed and refreshed, discussed and refreshed, because it's so easy to just fall back into the habits of just kind of ignoring it. But now is not the time to ignore it because of the momentum that this has all had. There's been such amazing momentum worldwide, and why not carry it forward? You know, it will take a little bit of time, but we're a few major like breakthroughs away from having real significant and substantial change. We just need to push through with it.
Yeah.
And obviously another way to look at it as well is that, yes, arguably, like, if someone was born into a very kind of racial profiling kind of background, and then now they're in like their older years, like obviously their entire upbringing was based around that kind of white racism idea. But if anything, all this discussion moment is really invigorating the younger generation to start talking about it and saying this is not okay. All that stuff was kind of under the brow, under the belt stuff that was happening 40 years ago. It's good to see the younger generation are saying no, that is not okay anymore.
Sure.
And I think that's the key thing. It's just saying what stuff was okay doesn't necessarily mean it's okay anymore. Like the off kind of comments, you know, like the kind of mental judgments sometimes people can make. I mean, I think everyone has been guilty of like racist thoughts passing through the main just because of how like normalized it was. And I feel that what's happened over the last 3 months has kind of said this stuff shouldn't have been normalized from day one, you know. So I hope there's going to be change, but obviously, you know, it's going to take a lot of effort and cohesion amongst people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's what it takes. It come together, stand together. You know, stand side by side, work together, and stuff like that. And that will bring change. It will bring change. And I think it's already started to happen when, you know, when you have people that are in power looking down and going like, well, I could lose my power if I don't. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you can shake those seats, shake them seats up, and maybe maybe someone sitting up on a top perch will still be a racist, but if he makes the changes or she makes the changes or whatever, then eventually that, you know, those sort of people will go away. It's like, you know, it's hard. I know there's people turn around and I've heard people turn around and saying things like, oh, why is it just Black Lives Matter? And it's like, well, I heard an analogy which is really good. It's actually from Angela. She said when you cut your leg, it's part of your body, and all the cells go down to protect that part of the leg to heal it. And that's what Black Lives Matter is like. That's why we say Black Lives Matter at the moment, because that part of the leg has been cut. It's hurting and it needs healing. And that doesn't mean to say the rest of the body doesn't carry on. It carries on, you know. So I thought it was quite a good analogy.
It's also a great point that you brought up about this generation being inspired, but it's about making sure that the next generation is living with the successes of this inspiration. You know, that's what the goal is essentially. And that's what I with this video, of course there are some bits which you look at it and it's terrible to see some of these things happening in this world, but we want to show people that things need to be fixed, things need to be brought forward into your attention, and we need to work through it together in order to put pressure on those who can change laws and stuff so that we can make a better world for us and for everyone else to come.
Definitely quite agree. Well done, guys. It's really good. Well, where do we go from there? Blimey, that was pretty serious stuff, but it is a serious thing, isn't it? So yeah,
needs to be said.
It does, yeah. So yeah, thank
Can't-
you very much
can't
for doing that. Go on then, Phil. Yeah, you didn't say anything in that, did
Yeah.
you?
I mean, yeah, I've had a few things like, it's so ironic how all the people, it's not really in London, but outside and in many other places where they go, oh, all these immigrants taking our jobs. Like, your country's built on this. Your country's built on like colonization. But the other thing I was going to say, like,
Are those,
as a
sorry, Phil, are those the guys that are sitting in their deck chairs in their back gardens, drinking the old beer and that? They go, taking our jobs. It's like, where's me
Yeah.
chips?
where's the
Even get-
kebab?
Yeah.
Are you
Sorry, Phil,
immigrants?
sorry.
Aren't you?
Go on, Phil. Go on,
But,
Phil.
as a generation, we can't like let this slip. We can't. It's hard to watch all these things. Like when me and Larry and Ollie were editing the visual for a live session, we were downloading all these clips of like Yemen, Black Lives Matter protests, police brutality, all these things happening. It was so hard to watch, but we can't just like give up now. We have to like pull through and like be educated. Like, ignorance is bliss, but that ignorance is so detrimental to society.
Mm.
You have to keep everyone accountable. If you see anyone being sexist, racist, anything like that, you have to make sure that they either understand what they've done wrong, or that it's not a cancel culture mindset. It's more just like, come on, it's like, check yourself and be mindful of others. Just like, let people live the way they want to. And yeah,
You need to give them a dutty slap.
Yeah.
Mm.
Something in the air, definitely. Cool. Okay. So right, let's go on to so we're doing the music that's going to come out. You've got these 2 tracks coming out roughly around the 14th or 15th of August.
yep.
And then you've
One
got
of them
this
has never
other-
been. Sorry, well, one of them has never been heard before. It's a song we wrote literally in the past month. It's all inspired by all of this, and yeah, it's quite a heavy one. It's quite gritty, and it's all live as well. So it's yeah, but it's more about the the feeling of it and the visual as well. And Dylan did a great job capturing that as well. And yeah, and then the next one we'll put up maybe like 2 weeks later or something. Is just to like also, it's going to be spliced with the live session from the live gig from Notting Hill Arts Club that we did before the lockdown, and it's going to go back and forth between this, but we're going to be using the audio from this live session because it's better audio. It's actually recorded in like a little studio here. And yeah, so it's going to be like, oh, we miss playing live, and we hope that we sort of get people excited as gigs are getting a little bit closer to being a feasible thing to do.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and watch this live video, and it's quite powerful, but I hope you enjoy it, and then we'll go back to speaking with the guys in a second. Cheers.
You don't even know what I want.
We'll also have a single coming out in October.
Yeah.
Cool.
Finally, we'll be able to finish it. Finish the music video for that because it's like 90% finished. But at the beginning of the lockdown, our videographer had to go back to Italy. Literally on the second day of filming, the lockdown like started in Italy, and he was like, "Fuck, I'm out of here, man."
Oh, yeah.
Because I mean, they did the right thing by the Italian government by doing that. But you know, yeah, so we'll be able to finish that, and we're really looking forward to releasing that because we've had it for ages.
Yeah,
You know,
we've had it on the back burners for so long,
Yeah.
and we were initially going to want to release it around April time,
Yeah.
but then lockdown happened, and like Philip said, you know, we miss playing gigs, and with where we wanted to go with the single, we wanted to go out and gig with it and go on a tour and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But obviously due to COVID, we haven't been able to do that. So we've really tried to make sure that we can get it as good as we could possibly get it from you know, we had done the recording, like Philip said, down at Brighton Electric, and we just made sure that it was as good as possible. And when we came back together to rehearse, when it was able to, we really said, okay, now this is the time we can step up.
Cool. So
Yeah.
what's for people that don't know Pink Mirrors or Defect or Pink Missiles or the other bands, and I don't want to go down the Oliver Harvey route of how many bands he's been in at all, but you know, it's but
I'm the
what
best. I'm
sort
the
of-
best. I'm the best
what's-
session guy
do
you
you know
never
what?
paid.
I say every Friday's turn up, and they're being, there's a new band coming in. It's like, it's Ollie Harvey, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to go and have a 30-second taster of the single that's going to come out called Book. And then we're going to go back and finish off the interview with the fabulous boys from Pink Mirrors. So yeah, so Ollie, you actually, you know, got Queensway through to the finals, and they won with you in the band because their guitarist, was it the guitarist or bassist had dropped out?
Well, originally I just joined. I think it was out of a band. I can't actually remember. I think it was a band advert or something like that. But as far as that went, I'd say more. It was more that Benny obviously is the brainchild of that entire band, and I was just I just wanted to try something different. When I left the band, it didn't end as like as I wanted to. It was, I kind of left it in a very messy state, but those guys have been doing like great stuff. You know, they went on a tour, I think in January, December time. And, you know, I just wish them well as far as that, because I think they've got a really kind of unique, very like, it's early Smiths, but also very kind of modern indie sound as well. So obviously they've done amazing stuff. I've just been like doing so many bands for so long, you know. I've seen like the tail end of like the guys who really know how to like compose themselves, and then I've seen like guys who like, they say they got guitar strings but it's just spaghetti from mum's dinner last night, like but I say, like, of all the bands, I feel like most comfortable in this one, because the way we usually like write our music is that it's not just one guy coming out with something and then we all just follow ideas. It's usually like a combination of, and like a collage of ideas and textures. So I guess originally we used to be Defect and Anti, which is more like your raw bloods kind of hard rock sound. And obviously the guys did Battle the Bands a few years ago with Basement Door, and obviously they did well. But with this one, we really said we want to take it to the next level. So we really incorporated more synths, more vocal effects, just more of like a little thought about the texture of the songwriting, I guess. So we're not just kind of all four of us going straight in and all that. We're just thinking about the entire composition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah, I joined
Imaginary
the
friend.
band. I'm in the band
No,
now.
But yeah,
no,
we,
our fourth member is actually a MacBook Pro. I'm not joking because we don't have a bass player. But the benefit is
Right.
of using a MacBook with obviously tracks lined is that we can incorporate synthesizers, and then as with the live video stuff,
without
since
having
it's
to add
already
anything else.
yeah, it's already synced up, so everything's already there, ready to go. So we just add our edit on top.
I must
so.
admit, when you did a gig with, you used that sort of technology when you did a gig at the Basement Door in the upper room in Kingston.
Yeah,
Somewhere
the
where-
first gig.
But that was actually pretty cool sound. It was like, oh, this is really, it worked really well. I thought it's like, and it left Philip you free to jump around and enjoy yourself
Yeah.
on the stage and that, So that's what I was getting to, was like trying to get to sort of like, what genre would you call this band? What sort of music style would you call it? Or is it just
I don't like the idea of genres or labeling it. I just like but it's got influences from like we used to say it's like, oh, if Foo Fighters was abducted by aliens, right? Because it's that sort of chorus sound, but it's got these like weird alien-y synths and stuff like that. And
yeah.
and it's got a bit more youthful energy than the Foo Fighters, if I may say so myself. But yeah, we're going a bit more punky now, I think, especially with what's going on in the world. I think it needs to, and we need that. That's just how we're feeling, and
Yeah.
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 We I suppose we try not to dictate it to we must be this genre. It's kind of just what we're, like Philip said, it's what we're feeling and it's what's coming natural to us, because we, it's so easy in any band that you're in to try and force a sound, to try and force writing music in a certain way. But the best stuff is always stuff that comes naturally. And I think that in this project that we have going, we've all tried to do a lot more stuff in terms of writing, performing, in how we approach things. So we're trying to push ourselves, be it in just a small way or a very huge way, in terms of how we play, our sound, of our approach to things, and it's sounding really exciting.
Cool. Sounds really good. Sounds very interesting. So everyone watching, you're going to be intrigued to listen to. If you haven't heard them before, you're going to be very intrigued, and you're going to have to stream it and look at it and hear it, because
Got to.
you'll be wondering what the hell it's all about now. It's like
If I can make a recommendation, I recommend everyone go check out our first music video for our song called Hook. The reason I say that is our good friend Miles did fully animated music video for that. And
okay.
Philip came up with the concept. It's a really good kind of visual side, and it also works great with the music. So I guess if you want to get into us, don't check our Instagram. Just go straight to the meat and potatoes of what we do.
Yeah.
And
We'll link it we'll put the link in the description of this video, and then people can
check
see
out
it
our
from there.
Instagram afterwards. Check out our
We'll
Instagram
put the link in for
afterwards.
that as well. Yeah. We'll do
but
if you don't want
watch
to, if
some
you don't
music
want to
video
go on
first.
YouTube, then the music video is actually on our Instagram, and you will see it right there. It's on the bottom.
On
because-
IGTV, yeah.
see,
Yeah,
that's why you're in charge of the band, and I just do nothing, because you know that it's on our Instagram. I thought we still had a LinkedIn. You know what I mean?
Oh dear. What was the MySpace? You're still on MySpace, Ollie, yeah?
No, I got banned from Bebo the other day.
Oh,
Bebo.
dude. Them days.
Well,
Ah,
guys,
fam,
listen,
we're on Craigslist.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to leave in a minute, but I don't want to sort of say, goodbye without sort of like, thank you very much for doing this. Thank you for all you're doing, the music and everything. Thank you for doing shows for us, and thank you for being such fun whenever we've met up and everything. It's been brilliant fun. It's always a pleasure to
thank
see
you.
you. So
Like
when
I
we
said-
when we get locked down over, maybe we can get you in to do a live session with us.
Yeah.
Reunion.
You also joined us for something else as well, which we put out on the internet under our podcast alias.
The
So
For
you
Exposure.
guys should, exactly. So
Yeah.
if you want to check out more from what Kev has done, you should definitely check out that podcast.
Yeah,
also.
we learned a lot of things there that I had no idea that you did, and it just made us realize even more how much of a great person you are and what you've done.
Oh,
And
mate,
like
thank you.
you say thanks to us for coming, but like we probably wouldn't be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for the Basement Door and you like booking us and stuff like that. So thank you.
Guys. Cheers.
I wasn't even in that podcast, and it made me like, damn, that's a good podcast. I wish I
We'll
was
have
part
to
of
do
it.
another one with you, Larry, and Ollie.
Yeah. Do another one. It'll be good.
It's good though.
It was cool. All right, guys. Well, listen. Stay safe, and I'm glad to see you're rehearsing again. Let's make sure that we get to see what you're doing in the future. And I don't know what the future holds for anybody at the moment, but we are all missing music gigs. Live music is such a big part of life. You know, whenever I go out on these sunny days and you're riding around looking for something to do, and you think, oh, it should be a festival, or it should be music playing, like live people, you know, out in the streets. It should be there, but
We have to remember though that music is obviously about the people come see it and enjoy it. So it's better they return in the safest way possible than returning too soon.
yeah,
Definitely.
definitely, yeah.
They will come back
We've
because there is a definite hunger out there at the moment. But
Yeah.
I think it's important to remind ourselves that we're obviously in weird times and gigs will come back. It's just that it's better they come back where we can maximize the safety of the people coming to
safety,
them.
definitely. I can't imagine doing a basement door gig and saying, right, only 30 people are allowed, and you've got to stand a meter or two apart and all that. It just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. So we want to make sure, my trustees have spoken and I've spoken. I agree with them totally that only when we're absolutely certain that everything is normal again, or as normal as it can be, that we will reopen the doors to Basement Door and do live gigs. Until then, we are staying online here and doing what we can, and looking at alternative things to do. So yeah, good guys. Okay, great to see you. And
Likewise.
yeah, keep your hair long.
Hey, donate to the Basement Door and donate to Black Lives Matter and donate to famine in Yemen, amongst all the other things that I might have missed out. Just do a good thing
Definitely.
if you have the money, if you have the privilege.
Good stuff.
Even if it's £1.
Yeah,
Yep.
all helps, man. Thank you very much, Pink Mirrors. Cheers.
Thank you, Kev.
Thank you.